Hello, this is Stephen Childs, author of the World Fairness Agreement. One of the things that the World Fairness Agreement will accomplish is it will stop bullying, gang stalking, harassment. I just Googled a topic. Are there gangs that force individuals to harm others? So, are there gangs that force their members to harm other people? And I said, yes. And then I said, are there police officers that form harmful gangs? And it said, yes. And I'll let you do your own search on this stuff. There's been times when people have put me in extreme fear. I don't know whether they're thinking they're going to kill me or something like that, maybe. There's a family role that develops, and it's called the problem child. I'm the problem. I was born into strict LDS family. Other families were more strict. If that would have been the case with me, I would be even more damaged. Maybe I would not even be alive at this point. Typically, there's mental illness and or drug addiction, alcoholism, criminality. So I'm defined as the problem by police. This is why I'm asking about, are police sometimes bullies in a gang? And it says that there's oversight groups that prevent this or stop it. It's not acceptable. So the authorities are on the side of stopping this kind of bad behavior in all the population. Gang activity is a big problem. The family that we come from is like a gang. The religion that we were born into is like a gang. I once asked an attorney if I could sue the religion, and he didn't want anything to do with it. Sometimes that's happening for like sexual abuse, but like harassment, psychological harassment, that it's hard to prove that. So people can put someone in great fear just with some words, and there's really no way to stop them, and that's tragic. So the World Fairness Agreement would stop them because we would have fair-minded people that understand this kind of bullying, psychological bullying, harassment, intimidation, threats. And the people guilty of that would be asked to speak on what they're doing. And what do we need to do to help you to stop? Is somebody doing it to you, making you do it? Is someone forcing you? That I hear all the time. I was told to do that. This is what I'm talking about. The gang tells someone to get someone else under control. So I just went to the post office because where I was at, they didn't have mail delivered. So we had to get a post office box. and it was a big headache. While I was there, I was being gang stalked. They would tell me telepathically the devil's on the way to hurt you, or the deputy sheriff is on the way to hurt you. After this happened, this telepathic message, I found out that there are gangs of deputy sheriffs in Los Angeles that are well known, and they are harmful gangs. So it's like shocking when you go through some experience internally from telepathic phenomena, and then you hear about it in the real world as a real thing. So if I'm defined as the problem, and people that criticize the system are looked at as a problem, and so that I fall into that category. I don't keep my mouth shut. I say something. So because of that, I've had fear of police. But we have a common problem, me and the police, and that's people disrespecting us, doing us wrong, doing our families wrong. So what I'm hearing now is the police are supporting me. They're on my side in stopping harmful gang behavior. All of us have to police our own self. Like today, I realized how easily I slip into negative thoughts about other people. And so I can stop it. I can just blank my mind and stop thinking, give the problem to the all-powerful nothing of Meister Eckhart. I love Meister Eckhart. He's the guy, he's the one love guy, the original one love. One seeing, one love. So he's talking about the essence of God right to the level of where God doesn't exist. Like the foundation of everything is like it isn't anything, and then creation happens, so then there's something. So that's God at the level of not anything. That's like the fundamental essence is nothing. And you can connect with that fundamental essence within yourself, and it's a valuable tool. It stops your thinking, because thinking's something, so it's like, I want to stay at nothing level, at the ground level, fundamental. He called it the ground of the soul. So I can accept that concept for the all-powerful God. And so I'm if that's what I'm using for the all-powerful God, then I'm not atheist. So at this point, I'm not atheist, but people that are atheists, I want them to understand what I mean by God. My God is like, what caused God? Nothing caused God. That's what I'm talking about. So there's room for unity between atheists and non-atheists. It's very interesting. I'm clairvoyant. I'm intuitive. So I sense things. I sense where there's some wrongdoing going on. And I stop it. It's like I have death threats, telepathic death threats. I don't care if I die, because I don't want to live in a world where I'm being bullied and gang stalked externally and internally. I would rather get killed trying to stop it. So for several years, I've been thinking about something I'm hearing from spirit guide or disincarnates or whatever, aliens perhaps, that there's a postman that's cheating me somehow. Like people would be donating me money and the postman would take the money. I received a telegram once and all it had was numbers on it. And I'm like so tired and wore out from complication. I didn't know what it was. I didn't want to deal with it. I chucked it in the garbage. So then I hear about that telegram for years. Internally from spirit beings. And the post office that's cheating or stealing or something. Well, they just recently arrested a group of post office employees in New York, and they had been embezzling a lot of money by claiming the government payments in behalf of some individual and taking the money. So I just went to the post office because my life is so messed up from all this stuff, and they've complicated things so that they're trying to cause me to become powerless and unable to do anything about them doing people wrong. So they have people under control. Our entire culture is under control from bullies. And a lot of them have a god that's a bully. And they want you to surrender to their bully god. Or if you don't, they'll kill you. Just like the Bible says and the Quran says. I'm not making this up. This is the world we live in. And you know what I'm talking about. So I go to the post office to explain how I can't get the government forms to work because my situation doesn't fit into one of their categories. I'm not gonna. I'll try to explain it a little bit. I was living at the first place that didn't have mail delivered. I had to have a post office box. So this doesn't fit into government categories. There's one instance. The next time I was like having trouble getting to work for Uber because I need to have an address. So I got my address at a friend's house that's far away, and it's a very small town, and they also just have a post office box, but you also write the address and the post office box. That's not in a government category. It's very limited number of people that are in that situation. So we're not always cookie cutter people. And all the employees of the post office, they're supposed to use all the government forms so that everything's done automated and so forth. So I couldn't get my mail forwarded from the first post office box because it doesn't fit the category for the post office to recognize. And then I got the second address. And between the two, now the government forms, the apps are really having trouble because they got two different addresses to deal with. And I'm so weakened from my health issue. When I get tired, I'm depleted and I can't do anything. So that kind of stressful situation, it depletes me like within 10 minutes. I have to turn the computer off and walk away. I can't stand that energy. It's harmful. So So I went to the post office to tell them that I'm not going to have forwarding mail, and I'm just going to start having my mail sent to me where I'm at now. And it's on the website in the contacts. So if people want to donate, they can send a money order or whatever, snail mail, or I can receive mail at a permanent address. You have to have a permanent address to get a job. Homeless people can't get a job because they don't have a permanent address. They don't fit into the government forms. This is so dumb. They cannot get a job. And I was always gang stalked at every job I ever went to, harassed. And now we have gang stalking laws in Utah so that if you're being gang stalked at work, you can sue. So things are getting better. There's bullies at work on Facebook that I'm a member of that group. We have stalking laws, harassment, assault. If you're threatened, if someone threatens your life, that's assault. So you can get the law involved to protect you with the legal system, with the police. And I was scared to death to call 911. I had to face my fear to call 911 on a situation where I was being threatened. I was scared to death to call 911. I think I'm afraid of the police. So we got to get over our fear. Desperately. So that's why I'm doing everything I can to stay legal. Sometimes I'm tired and I'm not driving. I'm driving in such a way that I could get a ticket at times. Well, I'm okay with getting a ticket. That's not a big deal. I understand. I'm not against being given a ticket for a traffic issue, a driving issue. So really, there's no reason why I should have any fear. I'm not doing anything illegal. In the state of Utah, we have a law for religion that use psychedelics. It's very liberal law. It's State Law 200. I've benefited greatly from that. I think I'm to the point where I don't really want it. I don't want to microdose anymore. But it enabled me to get my feet back under me, miraculously. And it's legal. It's my religion. I'm in the Divine Assembly, TDA, in Utah. They just had an article on them in Rolling Stone. And they've been on Fox News as like an entrepreneur in category of business, I think, to create, religion is business. Let's be honest about it. So, I'm under so much stress that my mind would be going so fast I couldn't do computer forms. And so the microdose made it so much easier because my mind would slow down just a little bit. I didn't hardly feel it, just maybe a little bit. It's turning out to be very valuable medicine. There's a lot of research going on right now. We have similar medicine, the serotonin reuptake inhibitors. That's what the psilocybin does, is it simulates serotonin. So it's working with the serotonin system in the brain. Anyway, I go to the post office and I tell the guy I'm just going to not get a forwarding address. And I wondered if, because I couldn't fit into the government forms, if there's an issue, if there's something I need to be aware of. And so when I was coming out and I got back on the road and making sure I was driving safely, there was some people that I was wondering if they were going to be hazardous driving too fast, but there's kind of a tricky turn there at the post office. So the person driving in handled it correctly, and we're all helping each other. I'm trying to stay in the state of mind like I'm trying to help everyone and not harm anyone. It helps so much. So if I get into the negative thinking, like Eckhart Tolle describes it as the pain body. So we have these old thought patterns that bring about the suffering in our body, in our anxiety, fear, actual physical headaches, so forth. So like anger, you start using anger, and the pain body is like a spirit that comes in. And if you listen to Robert Faulkner, he's saying it really is a spirit that's coming in that can possess you. So I see people get possessed by spirits that are about sex. It happened to me this morning, matter of fact. And I asked my guide, my spirit guide, was that me? She says, no, that was not you. And there was all kinds of telepathic stuff going on, and people were angry, and it's like, because I don't want sex anymore, it's my spiritual practice. At this point, I don't want it. Where when I was younger, I definitely wanted it. I wanted to be in love and have the sex that comes with love and raise a family, and that's like the main desire when you're a human, is that's the main desire we have. And so we also have this dire desire to connect to God, a desire for spirituality. And there's scientific research done on this topic. Lisa Miller. Google Lisa Miller spirituality, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So a lot of us these days we're claiming to be spiritual but not religious. I'm spiritual but not religious. So the God of Meister Eckhart, it can apply to atheists, any religion. It doesn't have to be just Christianity, although he was Christian and he was on his way to becoming the Pope. And then the next thing you know, he's on his way to being executed by the Catholic Church for teaching that God is nothing. So people have noticed how it's like Buddhism, and he didn't know anything about Buddhism, but he comes up with the same conclusion that Buddha did. And me, I totally relate to that. I always have. Buddhism, it's called shunyata. It means zero. Empty cup. There's nothing in the cup. And it's also called the doctrine of the void. This is what Meister Eckhart's talking about. So we heal our problems with emptiness, with being nothing. Same thing that Meister Eckhart's talking about. And that the essence of God, that's what God's essence is, that also. So when we get to that nothing level, then God and us are the exact same thing. Nothing at all. Everything comes from nothing at all. So when you're at that level, I described in a document I put on the website how the beings work with our mind when we're at zero level, not thinking, blank mind, meditation. They use our brain, our mind, to create reality with us, mutually. So I'm hearing about this phenomena from my spirit guide. So I was saying, could you use my mind to tip a car over? With like psychokinesis, PK. And she says, wait a minute. Now I can. So, like, I have a problem, and I say, I need help with this issue. She says, okay, I'm working on it. Give me a minute. So I'm getting help with the post office, and I had a really great spiritual connection when I went in. Remember, there are people that are post office employees that have been arrested for criminal activity. And there have been policemen arrested for criminal activity. And so this network of evil, they're connected with the unimind of evil, like Buzz Lightyear. And they know everywhere I go, this is how gang stalking happens. They know that I'm going into the grocery store to buy a pineapple. And so there's 10 people blocking the way to the pineapples, because the network of evil puts them there. And the people doing it, they don't know that they're assisting evil. They're just doing what they think they should do. They were told to. Yep. So I had the conversation with the clerk at the post office. Went really well. And then he had to talk to the manager. Same thing happened at Denny's in Spanish Fork when the computers wouldn't work, and there's one on the right and one on the left, and it would not work. And I was just staying at the level of nothing, and the Om beings were creating unconsciously through my mind. So she says, I got to go talk to the manager. She comes back, and we use the one on my left. Worked right off the bat. What's up with that? There's aliens in this network of human mind. That there's a war against them. I was told this in a vision. They have us under control. They use fear and desire, sex and threats of death and so forth. So they're going to stop controlling us because the Om beings care about them too. So maybe we can help them. We can. So my team, I have to agree to guide them. I have to guide them so that they stop trying to control us. And the guide says the World Fairness Agreement. So they're totally forgiven, exonerated. We don't care what they did in the past. It's not our business. So this brings peace to this alien group of beings that the Bible describes as the ones without bodies of Satan and so forth. My spirit guide's one of them. She said, don't call me a demon. So some of them are they're getting direction from the Om beings too. See, it's kind of like they're like humans. We're work in progress. And it's awesome that there's a group above us, both, that's assisting both of us. I got through at the post office, and I get onto traffic, and here comes the police around the corner, headed toward the post office. And I'm like, what is this? What's going on? It's this network. So on the one hand, the evil network would show up and surround me and kill me or whatever, or arrest me, or threaten me with straitjackets. On the other hand, the network of goodness shows up to defeat the evil network. So we can become a person of goodness, and we were once a person of evil. So all of us have evil and good, I think. And my evil is that I'm having negative thoughts about other people or situations, and I'm responsible to stop that. So I've been working recently with Eckhart Tolle's method about the pain body. He's awesome. It's a really good idea. It's very helpful. So if you're having trouble, Google assault is, are threats assault? They are. It's assault. If you're threatened, that's assault. So you can get help from police, from the legal system. Harassment is illegal. Stalking. There are stalking laws. In the state of Utah, there are gang stalking laws. They've even recognized that it's a group of bullies at the job site. So if you're working somewhere and there's a group of people stalking you, there is gang stalking laws. And I had an attorney to help me with an issue that was psychological. He says it's sad that we still don't have any laws about psychological damage, but you got to have like a broken leg evidence, then you got somebody harmed me. But if they harm you psychologically, you know what? It shows up on an MRI. The body shows that you're done wrong psychologically from the time you was a kid. The hypothalamus is not fully developed. So we're close to having physical evidence of harassment. It's not going to be too far into the future where they will be able to see the evidence of unfairness happening to you like yesterday to verify, you know what I mean? To support your argument. So recently, I've been asking help from my spirit guide. Can you put some pain on those people that are tormenting me telepathically? Like break their arm or something? Kind of kidding around. And can you break their arm? And yes, she told me right now, yes, I can break their arm. Get some help. So we don't need to break their arm. If they know we have this power, game's over. Evil is defeated. And that's what I'm getting from them now. They've had enough. They've seen enough. They're helping us defeat evil right now. Thanks for listening.